Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place deep within the prince's own domain, in a very large Georgian walk-up house. David, you have found yourself being dragged the last few feet, literally and metaphorically. Though you could have walked it, you sense that the Nosferatu, who are your chaperones this evening, are doing this more out of a sense of the dramatic than they're doing it out of a sense of what is purely necessary. But you hear sounds of doors opening as you are ushered into a room. You are then shunted onto your knees. For the record, I should point out, everything hurts. You have a gigantic wound on your chest that is not made via the natural hands or claws of an entity of this world. The wound doesn't want to close properly. So everything is a myriad of absolute searing agony. You hear the polite din of conversation end. The bag is ripped from your face, and you come face to face with the seated figure of Justin Thrain, who is sitting in a high-backed chair. Surrounding you, you appear to be in what looks like maybe a small ballroom. Either that or it was at one point a kitchen that's been heavily converted. The ceiling is quite high, and there are a number of individual ladies and gentlemen whom are surrounding you, many of them possessing the pale alabaster tint of the evening. The only real individual of note is standing next to the prince's throne. You will see the small shape of Mr. Hennessy, who is saying something to the prince. And I will let Ian describe his own character.
So Isaac's seated somewhere respectable distance from the prince, but assuming as a clanmate he'd be somewhat close to hand. He's dressed in a very sharp-looking suit. He has a blush of health, so he is looking rather human. He is sitting with his finger steepled against his chin as he watches with quite a large amount of interest, but he remains silent. He is quite young. He is rather young looking, barely looking into his 20s.
Thrain makes a gesture with his hand, and Hennessy takes 2 steps forward, and he says, David Morris, former Primogen of Clan Gangrel, you stand accused of the breaching of 2 of the traditions. The tradition as it pertains to domain, and the position as it pertains to rendering a kindred on final death without the authorization of thine elder. How do you plead on these charges?
Well, it'd be mighty stupid for me to claim otherwise when there's video evidence against it, so I reckon I'll claim guilty.
I see. Please state your case before this court, at which point the prince shall pass and render his judgment upon you.
I'd heard this individual that I ended up murdering in his own domain had been dealing cult, which is something that, if I recall correctly, Seneschal Hennessy there had sent me along with a couple others to go and procure some from another dealer. Upon discovering that this first dealer had not given A, the amount of colt that he had promised, and B, was planning on blowing up the good Seneschal, we put a stop to that. So when I heard that this other individual was selling colt, I was wondering if he might have known who could have proposed such an attack, and went to discuss it with him. Things got violent after that.
Did you have any evidence to suggest that this individual was responsible for said attack?
No, but I wanted to see if he knew who might, or if he'd be willing to assist in the investigation.
I see. Did you question this individual?
I did. I asked him if he was familiar with the individual who sent along the bomb or attempted to, and he said no. He seemed very trustworthy, but there was a mild twitch that got me a little worried.
See, Hennessy looks you up and down and says, "Are there any circumstances that you believe mitigate your crimes?"
Well, I asked him if he'd be willing to assist, like I said, and I asked him if I pointed out that if this other person's dealing Colt and he's dealing Colt, and he seems to be kind of a big wig as it were, things could look poorly for him, as it were. People could start making connections, even if there aren't any. And he refused to help or to help solidify his good name.
I see. So you were in fact attempting to do the job of the sheriff as well as your own.
I suppose you could say that, yeah.
Have you been named this domain sheriff?
I have not. But I didn't see him doing much about it.
Is there anything else that you would like to say in your own defense?
No, I think I've said all I need to say. Do what you feel necessary. I understand that I fucked up. I accept this, even if they should be final death.
Ordinarily, I leave the petty squabbles of the low clans to themselves. It doesn't concern me. However, the fact of the matter remains. You've openly thumbed your nose at my authority. The authority of this court by breach of first one and the other of our most sacred tradition. Had you entered the establishment, and rest assured we have been shown this security footage, with less violent intent, we may have found mitigation. Had you not struck the first blow, we may have been able to find mitigation. Was it not that we had to alter the mind of 32 club goers in order to maintain the masquerade? I could have found mitigation. However, simply put, Mr. Morris, all of these things that I have said, wherein we could find a sliver of light, of justice, perhaps mercy, was simply not there to be found. So, for one of my primogen, the primogen of this city and this domain, to behave, he wrinkles his nose, and this is an obvious dig that I probably will need a self-control roll for.
Okay.
To behave like a wild animal.
Yep.
It's public humiliation, which is, I think, difficulty 5.
Two successes.
Okay, you managed to maintain your composure. Though the beast definitely flares, like, is unbecoming of this domain. So, I leave you now this opportunity, Mr. Morris. He leans forward in his chair. You may now beg for your life, like a good dog. And there's another self-control.
I'll make it on a higher difficulty because it's happening so quickly, like one after another.
Yeah, we'll make it a difficulty 6 because that kind of is a 1-2 insult punch.
Also, I forgot I have short fuse. I still have had one success on the first one, but
Okay.
I'll take. I believe it's a +2 difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Oof, difficulty 8 now.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Hi, David. How's Frenzy? Is it good?
So David's face erupts into a wolf snout because lol gangrel flaw.
What was David's animal feature going to be like? Is he a pig?
No. No.
So, are you? I have a question because bear in mind, you're in Frenzy. You can ignore your wound penalties. What are you going to do?
Well, Hennessy's been pretty good to him. The prince hasn't. So
Fuck it. Alpha strike the prince. Do it.
just going to run up and headbutt him as fast, like as hard as I can, because frenzy.
Excellent.
Lightning reflexes apply.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Good thing he has fortitude, I'm sure.
He's a venturer.
And I believe I have. I'm unfamiliar with how printing in Vampire works because oddly enough, I've never had to do it. Do I have to spend blood?
You can if you wish. Basically, how Frenzy works is you can actually spend a willpower to restrain yourself for the turn, and keep doing that until you manage to make the control roll to regain yourself. Or you can headbutt the prince.
Yeah, I'm gonna headbutt the prince. I'll spend blood for potent.
Okay.
I've already. Oh lord.
Well, it's gonna it's gonna be like that today.
It's gonna be like that too. Oh, I should have had 2 more dice because celerity. Forgot.
Make your roll the 2 extra dice.
Oh God.
I'll just add them on if that's okay with you, so I don't have to like do the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so it added literally nothing. Perfect.
It's always the way of the dice.
So at strength of 4, headbutt's basically just a punch, so it's just straight strength. Plus 6 rollover. So that is 10 bashing with the potence.
Bear in mind, he hasn't had time to like blood buff anything, so he's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
He has. That's still a really good pool.
I mean, I would assume so with between stamina and fortitude.
How much bashing did you do to him?
I dealt 10 before soak.
Okay, so he soaks 3 of it, which brings it down to 7, which then halves. You do 3. No, I think it rounds up. You do 4 bashing. You break the prince's nose.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Because it's been literally forever since I played anybody that was bloodbound to literally anything. Seeing this, what is the appropriate response for somebody bloodbound to whichever level?
You're bound, which means you are at the 3-point bloodbind. You feel the urge to defend the individual in question. However, as is about to become eminently clear, the seneschal is about to do sinful things to Tiger.
Yep.
Okay, so Isaac's response, first response will be knee-jerk to start to raise out of his seat, then looks at the seneschal, looks at the prince, remembers his orders, and sits his ass back down.
All right, the Tiger. So basically, the seneschal comes up behind you. He draws a sword that crackles with green light as he brings it plunging down into your back. Give me a second. I'm going to roll this out officially.
Okay.
There's 1, 2, 3 ones in that. So with the 10, that brings it down to 5 successes. So 4 rollover.
Yep.
I will put out he is going to spend blood for potence, but that's all he's going to do.
I would assume so.
So that's 5. So he has that much. A sword is strength +2, isn't it?
Yes.
Oop.
Is it just like a regular short/long sword?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's strength +2. I'm assuming there's something weird with it to make it diff 4.
He was coming at you from behind.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
He was because you ran up and headbutted the prince. He basically just came in directly behind you and stabbed you in the back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Finish off the man.
Yeah. He adds strength blood for his potence. His strength is that. His rollover is that. Actually, it's 1 less dice. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 aggravated damage.
I can't soak that even with fortitude.
He has 7 potence.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So, David, the last thing you see as the darkness takes you is the blood streaming down Prince Brain's face.
Well, maybe next time. I'm going to roll fortitude just to see how much I would soak, if that's cool with you.
By all means.
Just want to see. I'll just soak 3 of it. That's something. Yeah. Rip David.
So literally the seneschal obliterates him in 1. The sword explodes out the front of his chest. David, would you like some last words?
No, but I am going to spit some blood into the prince's face.
Nice!
To remind... Okay, wait, I'll spit, and then right before I crumble to ash, remember what this beast did to you. And then...
The prince stands there for a moment. Once again, you broke his nose, but nothing seems to register on his face. As you see the joint reset itself as he expends the blood necessary to heal the bashing. And he will say, "Ah, yes, what this beast did to me. It would appear as though the beast managed to get my shoes dirty." There's that kind of very nervous, chortly laugh from the court gathered, like, "Oh, good one, your highness." Hennessy just flicks his sword and sheathes it again before he says, "That was an impressive display, all the same." "Quite so. Quite so. Shame. But I suppose it's better than what I was going to have to do for the Setite's purposes of staking him out to meet the dawn. If you say so, sir." And I'm sorry that was not much of an intro for you, Ian, but I am going to end the scene there because that's all I need to do.
It's
So,
fine.
thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene of Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.